15 pounds of raw, thinly sliced pieces of carnivore.
In 2021, a man spent $11,000 a month on steroids, hired a film crew to live at his house, and had one goal: to convince the world he was natural. And it worked. A perfect scam. Until the emails leaked. This is the story of how Brian Johnson became the Liver King and lost everything in the process. Before the raw testicles, before the viral fame, before the mental breakdown, Brian Johnson was just a guy who had already won. He was in his mid-40s with a pharmaceutical sales background. He and his wife owned a dental practice, and he had built a supplement empire doing over $100 million a year in revenue. He was rich, he was anonymous, he had everything, but that wasn't enough for Brian Johnson. June 2021. Brian sends an email to a bodybuilding coach. The subject line reads, confidentiality. Inside that email was a confession. I'm pouring ridiculous resources into building the Liver King brand with a goal of 1 million followers by March 2022. I'm hosting a video guy at my guest house, a film crew filming 7 days a month. I have to stay in great shape year-round. As I've reached my mid-40s, it's getting harder, and the back fat kills me. Then he lists his stack. Omnitrope, a pharmaceutical-grade human growth hormone, 4 vials a week, $11,000 per month. Testosterone, decadurabolin, Winstrol, peptides, the whole pharmacy. 10 international units of HGH daily, a dose higher than professional bodybuilders at the Olympia. This wasn't some guy who got desperate after years of struggling. This was a calculated businessman pre-purchasing his physique so he could sell you a story. 2 months later, Liver King posted his first video and the spectacle began. Shirtless, always shirtless, beard soaked in sweat, skin red as a brick, veins like garden hoses, eating raw liver, raw testicles, raw hearts, bone marrow straight from the skull, pulling sleds through the Texas heat, deadlifting in front of Buckingham Palace the day the Queen died, hunting with African tribes, making his kids eat bull testicles on camera for content, and the list goes on. The message was simple. I live the ancestral way. 9 tenets, sleep, sun, eat organs, train hard. This is how I look. You can too. Millions followed his words. GQ and BuzzFeed ran features on him. Every major podcast, from Logan Paul to Andrew Schultz, had him on their podcast. The internet couldn't look away. And just like that, the money poured in. Ancestral supplements, heart and soil, whole beast protein. Each new product launch fed by a growing army of believers who thought, maybe if I just take his pills, I can look like him. But cracks were forming. Joe Rogan called it out immediately, saying, that guy's got an ass full of steroids. Greg Doucette, Garage Strength, John Bravo, fitness creators across the board said the same thing. No one looks like that naturally at 45 eating raw liver.
That bloke that eats just the raw.
Yeah, that's a gimmick, that guy.
It just looks ridiculous. He's got a
That's
plate of hearts and it just looks.
Well, he got an ass filled with steroids, is what he's got.
Yeah, it should have a big plate of steroids next to it.
That is not a natural body.
Of course it's not.
That guy is shooting all kinds of shit into his system to achieve that kind of physique.
The Liver King did not back down. Instead, he doubled down. Interview after interview, one thing was repeated. I've never touched steroids. I've never done PEDs other than prioritize, execute, and dominate in life.
Like Joe Rogan. I couldn't be more excited about it. And I just want to have the opportunity to have a face-to-face conversation with him about it, because I think at the end of the day, if you say he's got an ass full of steroids, I think invariably some people want to look like Liver King. They want to look like me. And what you're saying is you got to do that if you want to look like him. And number one, I don't do it. And number two, what I want you to say is, you know what, I don't know.
He even made a video with syringes filled with maple syrup, mocking the accusations while his own emails sat in someone's inbox, waiting. November 2022. Derek from More Plates, More Dates uploads a video, The Liver King Lie. 1 hour long, meticulously researched, and it includes the emails. The same ones Brian sent 16 months earlier, asking for steroid coaching. The internet explodes. Within days, Liver King uploads an apology. Shirtless and still in character. I'm making this video to apologize because I fucked up, because I lied.
Primals, I'm making this video to apologize because I fucked up, because I'm embarrassed and ashamed, because I lied and I misled a lot of people.
But then things changed. Before social media, I was rich and anonymous. After social media, I'm still rich, but no longer anonymous.
Because before social media, I was rich and anonymous. And after social media, I'm still rich, but no longer anonymous.
A flex in an apology, and the justification for his actions? Liver King, the public figure, was an experiment to spread awareness, to bring awareness to the 4,000 people a day who kill themselves.
Liver King, the public figure, was an experiment to spread the message, to bring awareness to the 4,000 people a day who kill themselves.
He claimed he lied about steroids to prevent suicide. The comment section tore him apart, with the video getting 250,000 plus dislikes. A $25 million class action lawsuit followed and was settled quietly. His followers abandoned him. He lost all credibility, but his offsprings are still forced to eat animal testicles on camera. Most people would disappear, but Brian did not. He promised to go natural. Soon enough, he claimed 220 days clean, but his skin stayed red. His physique barely changed, and when pressed about it, he admitted on his website that he was back on the gear.
I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't like the idea of losing over 20 pounds of muscle. I don't like the idea that became the reality of losing a lot of strength. My 1 rep max strict press was like 255, and I couldn't even hit 205 in July. So I've decided to go back on it.
As time went on, the Liver King content got darker. Eating after his dogs, cockroaches on his kitchen floor, a Frankenstein animal carcass stitched together by his chef for Halloween, his face redder, his speech slower, and his eyes vacant. Then, in 2024, he took ayahuasca in Mexico, a psychedelic that affects all the senses, altering a person's thinking, sense of time, and emotions. With that, something broke. The videos that followed were incoherent rambling. He started talking about fake Jews and the 4 swords. His pupils dilated unevenly as he became obsessed with one name, Joe Rogan. He gave a message to Joe Rogan. I'm coming to Austin. I'm picking a fight. I'll donate $1 million. Just let me on the podcast. Or we can fight. I won't tap. I have something to fight for. June 2024. Liver King flies to Austin, Texas with his family, where Joe Rogan lives, and threatens him on social media, saying he was a dead man. The FBI surrounds the hotel. Brian gets detained, walks out in cuffs, and is charged with making a terroristic threat. Released on bail, he left with an ankle monitor and a restraining order. He keeps posting, crawling on hotel floors, eating random plants, and mumbling about Joe Rogan. Here's the thing, Brian Johnson didn't need to do any of this. He had $100 million, a family and a business that worked, but he wanted more. He wanted to be seen, so he lied. He manipulated and created a character so detached from reality that when the mask came off, there was nothing underneath. And now, he's buying Twitter ads to tell strangers about his bowel movements. His Netflix documentary flopped. His social media engagement is dead. His kids look like hostages. His wife flinches every time he hands her raw organs, and Joe Rogan will never have him on the podcast. The irony is brutal. Brian sacrificed everything to become famous for being natural, and he lost it all because he never was. He's still rich, but that's all he has left. And when you ask if it was worth it, just look at his face in those final videos. Red, exhausted, incoherent, alone. The Liver King isn't a cautionary tale about steroids. It's a cautionary tale about what happens when you build a life on a lie so big you forget who you were before it. And when the lie collapses, so do you. Brian Johnson is still posting, still eating raw organs, still pretending. But no one's watching anymore. And maybe that's the punishment he deserves.
I've done what I need to do. I've proven what I needed to prove to me. The commitment that I made to my boys, to my family, to all the primals out there is I would never lie again. I went on record. I went onto my website. I went and said, I told it all. Anybody, like I said, if you're late to the party, that's fine. You can go and you can look at the confessional, why I decided to go back on. I've done what I need to do.